Hi Year 6 and welcome to Tuesday's maths lesson. I've got my webcam back, so I'm back with you in the corner and we're going to carry on our fractions unit. So start off nice and easy. I've given you some fractions with the same denominators. You don't need to do any changing, just subtracting. Pause me, get your 3 answers and come back. Okay, hopefully nice and easy then. 4 take away 1 is 3, denominator stays at 7. 6 take away 4 is 2, denominator stays at 12, and 10 take away 2 is 8, denominator stays at 20. Hopefully you found those quite easy. Some of you may have gone on to push yourself a little bit further and simplify, so well done if you noticed that these could be simplified. Don't worry if you didn't, because you don't need to, it's still right, but bonus points if you simplified them down. Let's have a look now at what we do with different denominators. So this is going to be exactly the same as yesterday. I'm going to talk you through the steps and an example. We're going to do a couple together, then you can go off and choose your independent activity, okay? So just like with adding fractions, we can't subtract 2 fractions with different denominators. We have to find a common denominator. So let's go through our steps together. The first one is find the lowest common denominator. Remember, common denominator just means making the bottom number the same. So we need to find a bottom number that we can turn both of these into so that they are the same. You can see this is done for you, but I will talk you through how we got there. So finding your common denominator, you're going to think of your 2 times table, and you might list it down or you might just do it in your head. Let's say 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's get started. And then the 6 times table, 6, 12, 18. As soon as you notice a number that's in both, so in this case 6, you take that as your common denominator. So that's where I've got that from, okay? The first number that you see that is in both times tables, it's a multiple of both numbers. Then you've got to work out how you get there, okay? So changing 1/2, we look first at the 2. 2 to 6, what do we times by? We times by 3. So then we do the same to the top. 1 times 3 is 3. In this one, it's already over 6, so we just leave it. It's the same as timesing by 1. Then you've got 3 6, take away 1 6 equals 2 6, because the denominator stays the same and you just do 3, take away 1. If you did the adding yesterday, remember today's are going to be taking away, so don't add them because you will get the wrong answers. Let's have a look at another one then. So pause me, follow the steps and have a go at this one by yourself. First thing to do, find the common denominator. What number is in both the 5 and the 4 times table? Pause me and come back for the explanation. Cool, hopefully you might have listed your 4s, you might have listed your 5s, or you might have just done it in your head. Hopefully you came up with 20 as a common denominator, which means that we're going to put 20 at the bottom of both our fractions, and it will be at the bottom of our answer as well, because we're now all working in the same section. Remember our pizzas yesterday? Now we can talk about slices out of a 20 slice pizza. When one pizza was sliced into 5 and one was sliced into 4, we can't compare them, we can't take away and can't subtract, as the pieces would be different sizes and it wouldn't work. Now, next step is change each fraction to have this denominator. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So we start with the bottom. How am I getting to 20 from 5? 5 times what? 5 times 4 is 20. Straight away, I'm going to do the same to the top so I don't forget. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, 8 over 20. Now move to my next fraction. Bottom first. 4 times what equals 20? 4 times 5. Same to the top, sometimes in by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. Oops. Lost control of my pen there a little bit. Right, now I've got my subtraction, and this is now easy to work through. Step 3, subtract the numerators. 8 take away 5 is 3. Okay, really well done if you got that one right. Let's look at one more example. Okay, have a look, go on your own, follow the steps, pause me now and come back when you've got your answer. All right, step 1, find the lowest common denominator. Again, you might have written your 2s, you might have written your 3s, you might just know a number that's in both of those. We want to try and find the lowest. So hopefully you've come up with 6. Turn my denominators here into 6. I'm going to know that my answer is going to be 6 as well. And then step 2, change each fraction into having that denominator. So look at this one, 2 times what equals 6 times 3. Do the same to the top number, 1 times 3 equals 3. And then this one, 3 times what equals 6 times 2. And then the same to the top. 1, shaky with my pen today, I've got better at this. 1 times 2 equals 2. And now I've got a nice easy subtraction. Step 3, subtract my numerators. 3 take away 2 equals 1/6. Okay. Now let's finish by looking at a bit of an explainy question, okay? I'm going to read it to you and then give you a little bit of time. Look at the subtraction below. 6/8 take away 1/6 equals 14/24. Grace says the answer should be 7/12. And Hayden says the answer is wrong, it should be 5/2. Who is correct? And prove it. See if you can work out what the person who's wrong has done instead. Pause me here, try to work through that problem and then come back and I will talk you through it. Okay, well done if you tackled this one on your own. I can tell you that Grace is right. Okay, now that's only because 7/12 is the same as 14/24. It's the simplified version. Okay, if we remember back to simplifying fractions, I can divide this by 2. Same to the top and bottom. Divide this by 2. Okay. Now, in order to prove it, I am going to have to prove this part. So I'm going to have to work out the common denominator part and prove this. If I look at Hayden and I want to prove Hayden wrong straight away, he said the answer should be 5/2, which is an improper fraction and it doesn't feel quite right. When I look at the question, I think I've understood what Hayden's done. He's done 6 take away 1 is 5 and 8 take away 6 is 2. So I can see where he's coming from, but that's not how we do it. We have to follow our steps and find the common denominator. I'm going to quickly talk you through how to work that one out to prove that this is the right answer. Okay, so find the common denominator first. So write out my 8s and write out my 6s. Let's do that quickly. 8, 16, 24, 32. I'm just going to do 4 or 5 and then check my 6s, because as soon as I see one that's the same, that's the one I'll use. So 6, 12, 18, 24. That's one there that's the same. Oops, 24. So 24, 24. Okay, so make my oh, that was really dreadful too there. That's my worst yet. Right, make my denominators 24. Super. And then my answer 24. Okay, and now just to show that, I'm going to scribble down over Grace and Hayden a minute. So 8 times what is 24? Times 3. So 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times what is 24? Times 4. So I do the same to the top. 1 times 4 is 4. 18, take away 4 is 14. Okay, so it was right. 14 over 24 is right. It's not wrong, but Grace is right that we can simplify to 7 over 12. Well done if you got there. Don't worry if that's a bit tricky. It's time to go on to your independent activities now. You can pick, just like yesterday, there's subtracting with different denominators, just like we've practiced. There's an easier version and a harder version. If you smash through that, there's an extra challenge. There is also, if this is all feeling a bit hard, there is a sheet which is just subtracting with the same denominator, like the very beginning of the lesson. So you can do that one if you choose. Please send me an email if you're struggling. Send me an email and show me what you've done. Good luck. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for joining.